All right, guys, we have a lot going on today, so I thought I'd bring you along to show you what's going on the farm. I'll start off with, we have a helicopter here. And he's spraying the potatoes for blight. So here's the helicopter. He comes and he's got this, they have the truck with all the fertilizer, or not fertilizer, with all the spray for the blight. And he just lands next to the truck, and then he flies over to the field. This is kind of their base station. He'll fly over to the field and then he'll spray all the blight. We'll watch him take off here. He just finished filling up. So this is kind of a central location on our farm. This is where our cellars are. This is the sprayer rig for all the blight spray. So he just landed and he's filling up now, and then he'll take off. It doesn't take very long to fill him up. He doesn't have a huge tank. Usually he does a few, 2 or 3 passes, and then he has to come back and fill back up. But because he doesn't have to fly all the way over to the airport, it's actually quicker. And so they parked here so he can just load here and then fly all over the farm where all the potato fields are and spray the blight. So that's why he's parked here. We'll see if we can get some shots of him actually spraying. I'm not sure what fields they're going to, but if not, oh well. But yeah, we got a helicopter here spraying for blight. I have a gearbox. I have a wheel gearbox on a pivot that is bad, and I'm gonna go change that. And we're also still taking rotten potatoes out of this cellar and washing them. So I'll show you a little bit of that as well. I'll start by showing you a little bit of the wash plant. Oh look, the helicopter's way over there, flying around. I guess that's the field they're spraying.
Hey Craig, hey, did you have the remote for the pilot?
But this wash plant, so as we've been, before this truck backs all the way up, as we've been running the wash plant, the only place to push all the nasty crap is over the hill into this grain field. So the grain field has kind of been flooded with a whole bunch of nasty, I mean, there's rotten potatoes, there's vines, there's little tiny potatoes, and then just all water. So there's not a whole lot we can do. It's got to go somewhere. So we're just letting it go off the hill into this field. It's going to be kind of a mess, but we'll just work it all in with the disc when we're all done, and it'll be fine. But it's kind of a messy gig here, but we are managing to get the potatoes out. There is a little bit in the middle of the cellar that is so rotten they won't take it, so we are going to lose a little bit of it, but it looks like we will get the majority of the potatoes in the plant, taken down to the plant. All right, just got the truck backed up. We're going to get this thing started and going. Start loading the truck. Now there's a metal plate that goes on the end of this. But we took it off, and by taking that off, it has sped up how long it takes to load a truck. It was taking an hour and a half, or it was taking almost 2.5 hours to load one truck. And now it's about an hour. So by taking that plate off, we haven't sped anything else up, but by taking that plate off, we're now loading trucks in about an hour. So hopefully we can get about 10 loads a day. Okay, well, they are going to continue to load trucks, and I have to go change a wheel gearbox on a pivot. So come with me and I'll show you the couple tricks we have to change it by yourself, because they're really freaking heavy and hard to change, but we do have a few tricks up our sleeve to make it easier. All right, guys, sorry, I kind of have a cold today, so that's why I sound a little funky. So this is the gearbox. I noticed this coupler was broke off, so I thought maybe it was just a coupler, but I came out, and when I twist this shaft, it's not supposed to move in and out. So I'm guessing by the grooves in this shaft that it's probably been bad for a while, and now it finally has shown its ugly head. So we have to replace that gearbox, which can be a little tricky, because first you have to jack up the pivot, then you have to take the wheel off, then you have to take the gearbox off. So doing it by yourself can be a little tricky. So I'm going to show you how we do it when you're by yourself. All right. So first we need our block of wood so the jack doesn't sink into the ground. Next we need the jack. So we say, oh, there's the old broken coupler. It just snapped it because it had so much torque against that bad gearbox. So we just got to get everything in place. Find a good spot to jack where you're not gonna, where your jack's not gonna slip around. Make sure that you're straight up and down, because pivots are heavy, if you didn't know. Then we just gotta lift it off the ground. We don't have to lift it too far, just far enough to get the tire off. That might, maybe just one more click. Yeah, that's gotta be enough. Yep, she's free now. Now I just need impact. Okay, I got a 15/16 deep socket. Stinking bugs, there's a lot of bugs out here. Man, those were rusty. Now we just get this loose. If all else fails, kick it. There. So, the trick is you lay the tire down underneath the gearbox. So, you can use the tire to hold the gearbox, so you don't have to. Because those gearboxes are heavy. All right, so now there's all these nuts, the bolts on the back of the gearbox, the bolt through the pivot that we have to take off. All right, so got a 3/4 inch. You have to loosen the top two are hard to get to. You can't get a impact gun on there. They're kind of hard to get to. I'm trying to just get them loose from the top. There's a little spot I can get to them just to get them loose, and I'll take them out from the bottom. But there's more room to break them loose on the top, so that's what I'm doing. It's working. Well, if our tools actually worked. If there's any tool sponsors that want to sponsor us and send us some tools that don't suck, that'd be great. I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, I got the two ones out that I had to use a wrench. Now, the rest of them are easy. if you're designing a pivot, make it so you can just use an impact on every bolt. Whoever's in charge of doing that. And there it is. Yeah, you can see the seal's bad when there's water running out. When there's water running out of the seal on this shaft. That's how you know it's good. I'm going to take this one. Oh, these things are so heavy. We're going to remove it. And grab the new one. Try to get it lined up. So, just drop this down a few notches. Gotta be careful with these handyman jacks because they like to attack you when you least expect it. Let's drop it a couple and see what that gets us. See if it gets us close. Oh, we're gonna be close there. I do need to take out these little plugs. Yeah, just gotta take out these 5 little thread plugs because those are the holes that I'm going to be using. Now let's see. If I hold this up there. Oh, we're close. So now that we have it sitting on the tire, I can kind of lean it back and I can stick my screwdriver in there and I can get some of the holes to line up and get some of the bolts in. I can just about get it lined up now. Okay, well, I've successfully got all the bolts threaded into the holes. So now I just got to tighten them up. Okay, I got that bolted up and tightened down. I just need to lift it back up now to put the tire back on. You never want to put your face over this handle because if it lets go or if you slip, you can say bye to your teeth. Oh, it's heavy. I have to go a little bit higher. Maybe. Oh, we're close. But yeah, needs to go a little higher. Yeah, now I'm too high, but I can lift it up there, I think. Maybe. As long as I get it in the right spot. Oh, got it. I'm just glad I'm getting this done today. Because later this week it's supposed to be like 103 degrees. I'm not looking forward to that. It's on there. But before I let it down, I have to put a new coupler on it. See, it's not connected. So there's a little, they have it set so you can go on either side. There's a little cap on the other side. You just tap off with a hammer. This little metal cap. And then you just tap it on to the side you're not using. And then it keeps dust and crap from getting in your seal. So now I need the new coupler, which is right here. This is a UMC coupler. These couplers are the best. It's just 3 bolts that hold it together. Super easy to change. And I always go with these if I have to replace something. My camera's overheating, so I'm just going to tell you how this goes together. Essentially, that shaft sits right in here, and there's this little coupler right here that just clamps it on. So I'm going to stop recording so my phone can cool down, and I'll put this all together and show you what it looks like after. Okay, so I put it in. You can see the shaft right there, and just tighten these down, put that through there and tighten it down. Now it's nice and sturdy. I just have to let the jack down and then go start the pivot. Okay, I just started it. I'm looking for that third one to see if it's moving. There it's going. So now that it's going, I can start the pump. I can, let's see, turn this to 1 inch. I can hear the water coming into the pivot. And there's the water. We'll get this pivot going. Get these crops watered. Probably only have to water this grain for about another week, and then we'll be shutting this field off so it can be dried out, ready to harvest in, I don't know, about a month. But you don't want to miss harvest because we just got a brand new Fendt Ideal 9 combine. So that'll be interesting to run. All right. Well, I managed to track him down. He's spraying the other side of this field. What's crazy is he's going underneath those power lines, and then he has to like swerve around the power poles that are out in the field. But he does a really good job with that helicopter. The planes don't like to spray this because of the power lines. They don't like to go underneath them. But he's out here in his helicopter just spraying away. He's been all over the place with which field he's been in, so I've been trying to track down where he was at. So I'm glad I was able to catch where he was spraying. So he is spraying for blight. So it's just a fungicide. So I know some people get worried about it getting on their trees and stuff, but if this stuff gets on their trees, it'll help them. It'll keep all the fungus from growing on them. So yeah, that's how he sprays with the helicopter. Here he comes. He's spraying the field over here. Here at the cellar, cleaning up some more potatoes. Yeah, I can hear the helicopter. There's the helicopter coming in to refill. Well, we're just loading up trucks, trying to get them as clean as we can. All this pile is just vines and little potatoes that have been growing, and we just keep blowing it off, blowing it off. And we have the excavator here, mini excavator, to kind of scrape it and throw it over the side. So, yeah, we're getting them clean. I'll take you around the other side. All right, well, now you can at least see the potatoes. We can't run it too heavy or it starts slipping the belt that's up here on top driving the whole thing. Potatoes come in on that end, and then they just tumble around and get washed. And then they come out looking pretty good. It's crazy. You see them coming out looking like this. And I'll go show you what it looks like when they go in. So this is what they look like going in. Kinda nasty. So it's cleaning them up real nice. This wash plant has been a lifesaver. Without this, we wouldn't have been able to deliver any of these potatoes from this entire cellar. But it looks like we're only going to lose maybe about 10,000 sacks out of this 70,000 sack cellar. Trevor's over here washing it out, washing off all the sprouts and junk. They collect on this little grate, and we have to just spray it off. But it's working good. I mean, look how many potatoes are going up that conveyor belt. We're loading it. It does take a while to load a truck. I think it's taken about an hour, but that's faster than it was. It was taking about 2.5 hours to load a truck. So luckily, we sped it up just a little bit. Josh just dumped another load of potatoes in there. He drives between the cellars to the back because we were taken out of the front and we got to a spot that's too rotten. We can't even, they just rejected them. They don't want them. But he's driving around to the back where the back is still pretty good. So we're taking from the back till we get to the middle again, and then we'll just have to dump probably about 10,000 sacks that are in the middle.
All right. Still washing. Terry's gonna go ahead and spray it off. Washing all the little potatoes and vines and just the crap out there. It's dirty enough we've had to wash it off 2 or 3 times per semi-load. Then we use the excavator on the other side to pull them away and kind of dump them down the hill. Then this fall when we haul manure onto the grain ground, we'll probably scoop them up and then spread them out onto the field with some of the manure. Turn it back into a natural fertilizer. Like this. Like those are some pretty good potatoes. There's still a few of the little sprouts that aren't coming off. As far as the rot goes, the rot is pretty well gone. There's our river of wash water. Running clear down into the field. There's a potato that had a whole bunch of rot. You see it just chewed all the rot off and left what was still good. Well, another thing that's happening today, other than my voices going, gone, we have more ice delivered to these cellars.
So it worked pretty well last time. We were able to get the temperature to drop 3 to 5 degrees, and it held that for about a week. So this week is supposed to get over 100 degrees for about 4 days. So this time we're putting 200 blocks of ice in each side and hoping that it can hold. Right now they're at 56 degrees. We're hoping we can just hold 56 degrees for this hot week. And then next week we're supposed to have some cool nights again and hopefully be able to get it cooled down until we get these out. They do have their pilot right here. They have been taking them out, but we got to keep them cool. So that's 200 bags of ice we still have to unbag. But in here, we have some children.
Yes.
But we also we've unbagged all these. We've stacked them in 2 big piles. So hopefully this does the job. It's 100 more per tunnel than the last time we did it. So it just has to keep it below 60 degrees is the plan. Okay. This is what one tunnel looks like. The other one looks just the same. 200 blocks this time. Hopefully it'll keep it even colder and last even longer. All right, you can see right here the current temp is 59. So hopefully we can get it cooled down to 55 or less. That's the ideal. Tunnel's going, the air's going on the other side of that wall. These are potatoes. They have taken a few out of here. These ones are not rotting or sprouting. They all look pretty good. Granted, the temperature is coming up on these potatoes, but they still look good. So as long as we can keep them below 60 degrees, they should store pretty well. We just got to keep them cool. But these potatoes all look pretty good, aside from a sprout here or there and a little bit of a rotten one. This pile looks really good. Alright, well, now that we're done here, let's go check and see how the potato washing's going. Alright, I am in the loader now. Josh had to go. He was running the loader all day. He had to go, so I took over on the loader. So now you guys will get to see inside the back of the cellar and see what the potatoes look like. The back of the cellar looks pretty good. There are some rot down low, like right on the ground where it's been wet. But for the most part, they look pretty good. It's a little sketchy driving the loader down this little makeshift ramp, but we're getting there. So once I get in here, you'll be able to see the pile. So there's the potatoes. So we've just been scooping along the back to try and get the potatoes out of here. Let me I'll try and see if I can do 2 things at once here. Oh, there is vents. So I can tell that there's a vent right there. We've kind of been destroying all the vents because we can't see them. So normally when you take the potatoes out with a scooper, you can see the vents. You get the vents out nice and easy. You can reuse them. When you do it with a loader, you're not so lucky. We kind of just destroy all the vents. I'll show you some of the vents here in a second. Here's some of the vents. So they kind of get mangled and destroyed as we go through the cellar. So we're gonna have to replace all of our vents, which is a bummer. Hopefully we can get some out. Like those ones over there aren't too bad, but it's definitely hard to do without destroying everything. But we gotta get the potatoes out somehow. Go dump these in the truck. All right, let's dump this load of potatoes. I gotta hurry because they're keeping up pretty good. Getting the truck loaded. All right, well, we got everybody on top of this thing now. The last truck has left. We're done for the day, but we're doing some adjustments on this big barrel to hopefully get it to work a little bit better tomorrow. It just hasn't been running straight. It's supposed to, you can kind of move it side to side with these tires. So kind of adjusting a little bit. These rams aren't all the way down, but for some reason they won't go down unless you loosen the hose and bleed the fluid out. So hopefully we can run a little bit quicker tomorrow. We were able to get these last 3 loads in about an hour. Say hello, Princess Christopher.
Elbow, wrist. Wipe the tear and blow a kiss.
So, yeah, if we can get them all in about an hour tomorrow, we should be able to get about 10 loads. Okay, so this is what the inside of the cellar looks like now. We have like 2-foot deep ruts everywhere. There's a few good potatoes left, like on the side, but it's really hard to get those. And then you get too close and it's rotten next to the wall. We tried getting back in here. There's a few good potatoes right there, but you can't really get to those without getting a bunch of the rotten that's on the sides. We have this one little bit here that is still maybe pretty good. So that's where we're taking from now. There might only be 1 or 2 semi-loads left in this cellar. The rest of this is just gonna be a loss. Too rotten to process. All right, guys, well, I'm on my way home. Last thing I have to do is go check all my pivots, make sure they're all still running. But thanks for joining me today. This was kind of a day in the life of a farmer because you got to see all the little things I had to do during the day. It was kind of random. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.